the flute for about 26 years now, close to 26 years, maybe 25. I actually forget. I know it's at least 25. I forget because it really feels like I've been doing it my whole life. And I know it hasn't been, just not even half of my life, but yeah, about 26 years.
And were you a musician before you started to play?
No, I'm not even a musician now. Before I started to play the flute, I've always loved music, but listening to it, and I grew up with musicians in my family. My dad was a musician. He was a singer. He sang, but not powwow singing. He sang music from the 50s. You know, do you know the music that my dad sang when he was young? Yeah. But I didn't grow up with him, so I didn't know that until I met him. But that's a whole different story. So the short answer is no. I wasn't. I would bang on drums, you know, in various forms at parties or whatever. Sometimes I sang on a drum, like a powwow drum, for a little while, but I didn't really sing loud because I really couldn't sing. And so no, I don't think I had really any musical kind of ability. And truthfully, I'm not convinced that I do now. I don't think of myself as a musician. I love using the flute and the other instruments both for their musical, for their music and what their music allows me to express. Music has allowed me to tap into an aspect of my creativity that I didn't know existed, and it's just been a really great tool for expressing those things. It's an effort to express things that I feel that other creative tools that I use aren't adequate for. So very simply, I think of it as prayer. It's my way of expressing my gratitude towards life and creation. Yeah, I think simply it's about that.
Okay.
What I hope that they feel is what they're feeling. I think if I were to say that I had a job as a flute player, it would be to create an atmosphere or an environment that would facilitate and help people to feel what is inside of them. I've played my flutes in various settings where there were such diverse responses to it. To one particular song, for example, there would be people who would come to me afterwards and they said, "Oh, I felt so much joy and happiness in that song," while others would come to me and say, that song, it brought tears to my eyes and I felt so sad, and they're thinking that it's my sadness that they felt or my joy that they felt. In reality, it was their joy or their sadness. And if anything, I love it when people allow themselves to feel when they're experiencing music, and to feel more than what they think. There's, let me say it this way, a different way. To experience more, to feel more than a preconceived notion of what they should feel. I kind of look around in my workshop and ask, okay, who wants to be a flute today? You know, I've got wood everywhere, so, you know, a piece of wood might fall down or something might stand out in my view, and I'll take that out and I make flutes that way. Or sometimes, you know, it's just, hey, that's a really pretty piece of wood and I'll make a flute from that today. But when I'm building a flute for someone, what's vitally important for me is to know as much as I can about who that person is. So, and really music has nothing to do with it. There was a woman who purchased a flute from me today, and she and I spoke through email 4 or 5 times. I would ask her questions about who she is and what she does, not what kind of music she liked or anything like, not music related. And I choose a piece of wood based on the information that I have from that person and what I think will best suit their need. Some of that is intellectual, some of that is intuitive. I like to use woods that grow here. I don't purchase wood because there's no need, you know. We're surrounded by forests and they're always giving, you know, branches and other things, but branches so that I could build flutes. I'd like to work with the woods around here because it's what I know. I have a relationship with the various trees and the plants that live here, as did my ancestors, you know, and so I know them. It's not to say that I don't use wood from other places. I mean, I travel all over the country, and when I do, people know, if they know I'm coming, they bring wood for me. I have wood from so many places. I get boxes in the mail. Here's some wood that you might like to make a flute with from here or from there. So I do use those things, but if I had to limit the wood that I would use, it would be just local wood that I'm related to. A few days ago, I got an email from someone, and it was a young man, or he still is a young man, I guess, and he was telling me about a time that he heard me play at some university in Maine, and how that affected his life. And when I read the email, of course, it was nice that he was saying nice things about me. That, you know, that's always nice. When you always feel good when somebody says something nice about what you do. But it made me feel so much. It was more important to me to hear or to read that with whatever experience it was that he and I had together, as him being part of the audience and my being the noisemaker, that he then went and did something with that. It wasn't just about, oh, your music is very nice and you have nice words to say. That's irrelevant to me almost. You know, I want people to get up and go, yeah, if he can do something different, so can I. You know, if he's thinking about making a change in the world, well, I should be too. And that's what I hope to inspire in people with what I do. So.
And are you available for presentations if someone wants to help you?
Absolutely. It's what I do. This is my life's work. Well, let me back up. It's an aspect of my life's work. It's all kind of integrated with other things that I do. I talk a whole lot. I make a lot of noise with sticks, and but you know, my talking. Let me try to say it this way. Let's say, for example, I've been invited numerous times to Harvard Divinity School to talk with their classes about how we can make the world healthier. That's kind of why I went to England, and so that's the premise of what it is that I talk about. But when I'm not in the public's purview and I'm home with my family, it's still what our life is about. Our life is about learning to be in close relationship with the earth and with the sky, and understanding the relationship that exists between us and these things that live there, and then learning what tools are available to help.